Hey Trailheads, it's JD, and I've got a quick pit stop for you. We're all about building a community here at the Trailhead, and we want to hear from you. Got questions about the latest gear, a burning topic you want us to dive into, or maybe you've got some killer trail recommendations? We're all ears. Getting in touch with us is a breeze. You can DM us on Instagram or Facebook at the Trailhead Podcast, drop us an email, or even give us a call. Plus, don't forget to check out our website, thetrailheadnetwork.com, for all the latest episodes and more. So, if you want to be part of the conversation, reach out to us at 719-408-0132 or hit us up online. Your voice could shape our next episode and even be on our next episode. Now, let's get back to the off-road action.
Welcome to the Trailhead, where trails start and stories unfold.
One, two, three.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Now here's JD.
Welcome to part 2 of our discussion with Sand Hollow 4x4 about the Sand Hollow State Park in Utah. If you missed the first part of our discussion, please stop and go back and listen to part 1. Otherwise, enjoy, and welcome to the Trailhead. How long have you guys been wheeling, and how long have you guys been Sand Hollow 4x4?
So Pope knows a couple of these questions, so does Randy. So this is kind of funny. So my kids gave us this funky name, and they called us the Double Dominators. And I guess that's just because we dominate them out. I don't even know. I have no idea. I don't even know where it came from. So
Kids are
actually
fun.
it started it started out as me and TJ wheeling together. Really, that's what it was just a husband and wife wheeling. And I started a YouTube channel with it. And then it went from one thing to another. And then in Salt Lake, we started teaching people. And
Nice.
we would just teach people for free. And then they'd go out and they're like, man, you guys are like, TJ's really calm. And like, you guys are really just calm and collected when things aren't great. You're still fine. So, so that's when I think actually one of Pope and Randy, one of the first ones that said, hey, you guys might try and do this as a thing. And I was like, okay. So we actually moved down here to Sand Hollow, about a year ago. And prior to that, we wheeled the hardest trail is in Moab, like that they've got over and over. I mean, thousands of times. And so it's just one of those things where, we went from the Double Dominators from YouTube to being like, now we're just kind of showing everybody what we're doing. And now it's going to like, we want to do this passion of our thing. And I was like, well, Double Dominators doesn't exactly scream, come take a tour guide in Sand Hollow, right? So, we won't go into that, but
I told you need an OnlyFans.
I think you're amongst
Crystal.
everybody that does know exactly what you encountered.
You
Yeah.
will kill it.
There's a
financially.
float for every boat.
There's a float for every boat.
You should have kept the domain. You probably could have sold it.
we still have the domain, which is funny. So it's just funny. So, so we kept the Double Dominators domain, but we've also, like, I've got a website builder, and he's actually like my website developer, my designer, everything, and that's been incredible. It started out as Double Dominators, and then with SEO optimization on websites. I mean, again, Double Dominators, it doesn't say anything about this area, so people really can't find you very good. So we were lucky enough to get the Sand Hollow 4x4 name, and then we just kind of have slowly transpired over to that name, and it's kind of stuck a little bit, so it's been good.
Nice. All right. Jason, what are we looking at?
Yeah, this is sweet.
Myself.
Me?
Me?
Can you see the screen? You can't
What?
see what I'm sharing, can you?
Yeah, we can.
Wait,
Dude.
I see my Jeep.
Yeah,
And your Jeep's doing cool things.
What is your Jeep? Where are you?
I'm in Washington right now.
No, in the vida.
Oh, sorry.
All right. That's official. Every time you've been on so far, you've asked that same question, so I'm going to make a roll of it.
That there, I want to say that's the maze.
Oh, yes. The first entrance.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
The non-drop
that
entrance,
day,
right?
that specific day right there, we did that run with some friends, local friends up here, Trail Coins, and we did that run early in the morning. And those that were down there know that the early start of Trail Hero was wet and cold.
Oh,
Yeah.
It was raining.
And that obstacle is not
I'll
that
tell you
obstacle
what,
is not very
it
easy to
was-
do when it's wet. Even when it's dry, it's kind of tricky
Yeah.
because you have to go really high up on the driver.
there was not much traction that day, but it was fun.
So did you guys do that and then do the drop right and then cut over to the drop right after that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that drop
That's a
is
fun way to do it.
There was a few that gave You Gotta Be Nuts a try, but just watching them, I never tried.
We were
I
like,
have an air compressor
we were
issue.
so close to
I'm
doing
so
it.
close to doing it,
but
but I'm not ready yet.
we
Like,
just- I was having my PSC hoses actually started leaking on the maze. Like the front was starting to leak, and the more I pushed it, the worse it would spray out. And so I'm like, I don't have enough Jeep left in me to do that, and then finish the trail and then get back. So I opted not to do it. Plus, I'm really not liking my Nittos. I really hate those tires. I think they suck.
You don't
Yeah,
like
they're-
it?
Twitching?
They're not. Yeah, the trail grapplers aren't sticking to stuff out in Sand Hollow. They were like giving me trouble. They owe me a passenger mirror.
So I made this video. So
They hope
you know, as a person that likes to,
Hey, this is going to be controversial. What she's about to say, it's going to be controversial.
so I made this video as a person that likes to go out and
This is a good
record
option.
everybody, and then after that I have to come back home and edit the videos, and I watch. You know, to edit the videos, I have to watch them like 20 times. And so we had, I think it was like 4 rigs that were going up the same obstacle. Each rig had the same size tire. They had the same suspension, right? If you can call it that. They were really good offloaders. What do you call it?
Suspensions were different.
They were different.
Suspension will play a big factor, like a larger factor than most people think in traction. But at the same time, it was a pretty comparable since the obstacle wasn't that big. But
Yes.
go ahead.
The obstacle was really easy. You were supposed to just go up a bump, right? And we have Cooper tires. We have Mickey Thompson's. I think, what was the other brand?
We had Nitto.
Nitto?
And we also had TSLs.
Okay. And the
Don't
all
have
tires spin. All of them spin. I think the Nittos, and I'm sorry for the Nitto lovers, they were the ones that had the hardest time on that.
It's true. He was dying all week. My Mickeys were sticking to everything, and I was making him look stupid. It was so funny. Like my Mickeys were sticky. Mickeys are sticky, and they were so happy.
And I think the fact that the 42-inch Nittos are only 13.5-inch, not 15 and a
Hey,
half,
I'm not gonna
plays
lie.
a big part.
I'm a little cautious about bashing on tires on here.
Okay.
Well, not
But at the same
bashing
time-
them, but I'm just telling you, my experience so far with these 13.5
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nittos.
it's nobody's
Mickeys
bashing.
and
Like we can
Nittos.
share our experiences on here without having to worry too hard about it, as long as we're not like
It's-
talking
fair
about
enough, fair
corners
It's
and
not
stuff.
bashing. It's just like his version of tires versus my version of tires. He's jealous. So
Yeah, and I also wheeled our other Jeep with the 37-inch Mickeys, and I got to tell you, that thing felt like it was on.
Oh, I
forks.
love this one right here.
Wait
I'm
a
sorry.
minute, hologram?
Mhm.
hologram is so fun.
Actually, wait.
Okay,
We haven't
sorry.
even
So-
seen hologram for a minute.
So
He's getting a
Nitto
build right now.
tire- Nitto tires are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Until they're not. I don't have any complaints about it. I've never actually
Will.
driven or wheeled on my own personal vehicle with Nitto tires. A lot of my friends have them. They are true to size. They're unbelievably true to size, which is phenomenal for a tire because everybody claims, oh, I got a 40-inch tire. And then they measure them and it's like 37.
Right.
Except for Nittos. Nittos measure great. They're like, hey, if I got a 40-inch tire, it's no shit a 40-inch tire. They're an all-around great tire. But what I've noticed is you have to heat those things up big time to get them to stick.
I see.
Yeah.
But then again, like I said, I it's not that I'm bashing on tires. I really think a lot of it has to do with the line. There's so many variables in the tires.
Well,
that
I think there
people
was
get
a
so
lot
hung
of
up in this that it's like it's hard to make in my opinion. Rubber's rubber, okay, and everybody's got their own personal opinion. But at the same time, if you're off this much on a line, your high dollar tire compared to a cheaper tire, even if you're off this much on a line, could make that high dollar tire look like the piece of shit. And the cheaper tire is phenomenal.
Well, and that one extra inch of that one extra inch of tire,
it's really a preference. So to me, it's like, hey, if you like a tire and that tire gives you the confidence that you want to wheel, then go with that tire.
Yeah. And it depends on what you're doing. It depends on what you're doing with
so
it.
many, and I've had good luck with them all. I mean, I've ran Patagonias, I've ran Nittos, I've ran the Cooper brand.
My favorites are Mickey's. My second favorites were the Pro Comp 40-inch tires that I had on Misfit before I put the 42s on it. Those Pro Comp tires.
That's what
the Maxxis ones I want to try next because the Pro Comp ones were so good.
Yeah.
Good luck driving on the road.
Yeah. Well, the Pro Comps were nice on the road. The Nittos are actually pretty decent on the road.
Yeah,
Nittos seem like they're phenomenal. I mean, I've ridden in my friends' Jeeps that have Nittos, and it's like it's an amazing ride on the road.
There's just a sweet spot of pounds per square inch you're supposed to run out there and sound hollow on them. I feel like 9 or 10 on those tires is probably about right. I tried to overcompensate for the wet and went down to like 5 or 6 and started having my tires folding up on themselves and had no sidewall by it at all. And so it was like, dang, everything I was doing was causing me issues. But I'm just waiting for the 42-inch, the 42 by 20 Mickeys to come out. That's something that I have on my Christmas list, and I hope Santa brings it.
Well, and real quick to mention to what Crystal was saying, she's driven all these different kinds of tires. The kind of tire that I need versus the kind of tire that Jason needs out in New York versus the kind of tire that Carnes needs versus the kind of tire that you guys that are out there next to Sand Hollow need are completely different.
Absolutely.
I'm sure we'll talk a lot about tires on this show. And part of the reason why is because we all wheel such different places on a regular basis.
Now, I guarantee you, if I wasn't using the street tire version of the Nittos out there, I'd be having a way different experience than I'm having with the street tire.
I'm all about the little guy. So you know what? If the little guy, I want to represent that person. Like you got Mickey Thompson, you've got Nitto, you got all them. Yeah, I just want to try
a hat from some dude like Canati tires. I don't know if they have 42s though. If they do,
I was never able to try out Canati tires. I was supposed to run them, but I never got them in time for it was Moab, so I wasn't able to get them. But I wanted to try them. I really wanted to try them out.
I think Canati just came out with a 40-inch tire.
Yeah, they did.
Which is probably going to be more appealing for today's wheelers.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knows 40 inches is the new 37, 42, 43, that's the new 40.
Yeah.
So very inadequate 35-inch.
42 is pretty excessive in most cases. Like most people are running
once
40s.
You go big, you can't go back.
Well,
I know.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. That's what I needed to hear. No, John, you're fine. You're fine, JD. You're perfect.
You're fine, JD.
Yeah, you are.
I told Randy to put 37s on her Jeep to emasculate the other people riding around in 35s.
I'm sorry. We're going to have to excuse Lily for a second. She just drank all my drink.
Oh.
And so back then, everyone was running 35s, and she's like, "I'm gonna put 35s." I'm like, "No, you're gonna put 37s on there."
Dude.
And now I'm 40s, but you just keep going bigger.
That's my fear.
But I miss my 37s. I miss my 37s. Like I feel like the 40s are like everything just happens. Like it's easy.
Oh, wait until you go 42s then. Like
I know. It's like you can't lose on 42
now. You have
like the 40s, like I just need bigger rocks.
Randy's
and bigger
cheating
things.
now.
I do feel like I'm cheating. Like 37s were like a challenge and it was fun.
Yes.
I loved the 37s.
I'm with Lily. I miss 35s. 35s is like, yeah.
Dude, I had some fun on
I want to put such big tires on my two-door that they touch each other while I'm wheeling.
The original Bigfoot was 47, and so I think his goal is like 47-inch tires.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I never even looked at that. That's
Big
wild.
Woods is 47.
Yeah, I don't know what they are now, like 60s or something crazy.
I'm gonna
Like
next year. I'm thinking about taking 35s to Trail Hero and see what happens.
35. Wouldn't that be fun?
But to me,
You know what?
Project Overkill is a monster truck in my eyes. I mean, that is 46-inch tires. That is huge, and it's a goal vehicle.
At what point does it become a monster truck? Is it still an off-roading truck with 46-inch tires? Like, you're just kind of crawling over the terrain at that point as a highway.
Boring, right?
Well, I mean, it was still a challenge to get a middle monkey for it because it's a gladiator still.
The gladiator.
Oh, I don't think long wheelbase should be your only mark of whether or not it's something difficult or not.
That's kind of how it is with the JT right now. If it's the long wheelbase prevents me from doing it, it's considered hard.
Hey guys, I'm sorry, but I hate to interrupt, but I gotta bounce out of here. Oh, I love this video right here. Sorry.
No, you're good, man. Real quick, can you guys tell us what that is?
What is that, Jason?
What is that?
The Salt Flat Lake.
Yeah.
It's salt.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to go salt flats?
Oh my goodness!
Fun.
You know how much? Do you know how much controversy this little 10 feet out in the water caused me?
Oh, I'm sure.
Everybody telling me you're driving in salt. No shit, I'm at the salt flats. Thank you for driving
You
in
should
salt.
have told us. We were only an hour from there.
So we didn't know we were going to go. Our friends,
it's cool.
Eric and Kelsey, were like, "Hey, it's getting kind of late. We're going to show up at an oddball time. So why don't we just stop here? We'll take a nap and we'll hit the salt flats." I'd never been there before, so we were like, "Yeah, let's do it." The next day, everybody was telling us, "Don't go out in that water; it's salt." And we're like,
"No shit."
Yeah,
that's why it's got the name Salt. Yeah.
It's the Great Salt Lake.
But I will tell you.
Oh, gotta fix this.
I put the Jeep in drive, and I was standing on the brake as I went through that water, probably no more than 10 feet out from dry land, just to get those pictures. So when you see those pictures, literally, the water was 2 inches deep.
Yeah. You're just driving in the shallow water to get that reflection.
Yeah, we just wanted that reflection. That's all we wanted.
And even if you weren't, that's why there's car washes.
Or did you actually go out to the salt flats? If you stop at the rest stop, you could drive out there too. It's really cool.
So we
I've done photo shoots out there for editorial work.
Eric and Kelsey actually were like, "Hey, here's our pin," and we drove up into the
down the road, National Park.
Yeah, we were at some park, and we just camped overnight. And then in the morning, we hit that up. And then the first thing we put in our GPS was, "Hey, show us where a car wash is."
Yeah, there you go. Don't need to let that sit out there very long.
Yeah, we were there for
can you still see our
30
video?
minutes.
No?
Got some pictures, and then hit up the car wash and finished our trip to Sand Hollow.
That's awesome. Those are epic.
It was on the bucket list. It's no longer on the bucket list.
Yeah, that's not mine now. Thanks a lot.
But hey, awesome. we got to get going. We got to feed the family, and it's been great talking to all you. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
see you guys.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you
it's
for
good to meet you guys.
We'll talk to you next week. Yep.
See
Take care.
Bye.
See you guys.
All right. So, that was cool, Crystal. All right, Jason.
Crystal, what size tire is that one?
It's a 40.
Is that
We're gonna hang out for just a couple minutes, Crystal. We got a couple more things to do. So, and our buddy Jason in New York here joined us. So,
hello.
Hey, Jason. Good to see you.
What's up, guys? I was able to make it, and I apologize in advance because, as usual, I'm having a little bit of some technical issues with my computer, but I'll make it work.
Seems to be going around.
Yeah, I had to rejoin 3 times today, so don't feel bad about it at all.
Okay,
I'm already on our first rejoin of the night, so
yeah, I'm at the moment I'm really I'm not really gonna comment on Riverside on their own app. Gem and the Misfit, Randy Pope. Make sure you guys don't have 2 tabs open.
We only have 1 tab open.
Okay, then it's just screwing around. Cool.
Yeah, I think it tried to go to sleep mode or something.
Gotcha. Okay, it's probably just a hanging up. That's fine. Yeah. Just leave your tab open or leave your computer open when you're done. Let's see. So, real quick.
See, that's where I got stuck on there. And literally this video doesn't show how close I got, but I was like 12 inches from making it over this time. If I had a little bit wider tires, different sliders, or maybe like 2 inches of ride height or something like that, I was right there.
He was right there.
It's still denying JTs that are, even with the crazy suspensions like ours.
Are you just not able to grip there, or are you bellying out?
Bellying out.
Bellying out.
Okay.
It's breakover. It's complete breakover.
Oh no.
And what is the name of this obstacle again?
This is Middle Monkey.
This is Middle Monkey.
Middle monkey.
Yeah. For those of you listening and not watching this podcast, I will tell you that Pope is pretty much at, I don't know what, like 70 degrees there or so. And apparently just flat on his belly and spinning his tires. So
Yeah, definitely.
Looks fun.
Definitely flat.
it's us.
You can turn off the camera, but you can't switch.
What is this? Horseshoe Falls?
Oh, that's Horseshoe.
Horseshoe Falls on Sand Dunes Gulch. Or Slip Block Gulch. Sand Dunes Gulch is in Vernal. Yeah, Slip
Okay.
Block.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of ways to do this one. I think
It's nuts.
so. The way that the guy described it for us this time, and the way we do it the next time we do it, isn't as violent. He's like, "All right, you're gonna have 3 big hops," and he's like, "You're just gonna gas it from here, and then once you feel that second hop, you start turning." And it was
And so we did it that way, but I really could have crawled this.
she really could have crawled this one. When I did it in the Gladiator, I didn't even. That was not like that at all. I didn't spin tires or have any craziness.
But it was fun.
Yeah, it's definitely fun.
As
There's
long
a
as
lot
you
of
didn't break
lines on this.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lines on this one. You can play around a little bit, but you're supposed to basically point at that sign, and once you get your back tires up, you turn driver real fast and you smooth out.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Anything? Where is this? This is in Utah then.
This is Tokerville Falls in Utah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Tokerville.
Does that run all year long? Does it dry up? Hey Trailheads, it's JD. Love the show? Help us keep the rubber on the trail. Leave us a review wherever you listen and shout us out on social media. We'll be sure to return the favor. But you want to do more? Visit our Buzzsprout site and drop us a few bucks. Every dollar goes right back into making this show even better. And stay tuned. We're exploring a subscription like Patreon for exclusive goodies. So thanks for the love. Now let's get back to it.
I don't think, for the most part, it stays running. It just gets really low, and sometimes, and then with all the rain we've had this last season, it's just been raging. Yeah, like this year, do you see the top where all the cars are right there?
Yeah.
So, like literally this year, the water was all the way to the top right there.
Okay.
Almost all the way to the top. Like every single one of those pools were full to the top. It was insanity.
Just yet another proof that Utah is not all desert.
No.
And then we got a nice clip reel, breaking stuff on the trail. And did Pope, you said you broke a condenser? What else did you break?
So yeah, my AC condenser got smashed into by my hydro assist intercooler. So that was punctured on I think it was actually punctured on Middle Monkey, to be honest.
So that's Middle Monkey. Right there.
Hey, Middle Monkey took out Naomi's mirror.
Yeah. There's that video with where the Jeep looks like it's kind of going fast. If you go up one row or 2 rows right there, so you see the one where I'm doing the high five there. Crystal's gonna say you're going too fast if she sees that one. Don't show her that.
This one here? Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't break anything on that. Good Lord.
That was actually really under control. I've actually kind of gotten really good at bumping it and stopping right where I want.
Okay.
The spotter actually told me on this one, he's like, you can send it from here. Yeah. Other people, he told them just to give it a little gas. But
well, and I think too, like Pope, I think when you have a bigger build, right? Like you have that a lot more strength in your parts, and so sometimes you can just like give it a little bit more roll through than normal. Like with me, I've been running on Dana 44 Rubicon axles. In fact, my front ones are stock still, and I've been running on those since the beginning. I have not switched my front axle shafts at all, and I'm on 40-inch tires. So for me, my throttle control has to be a lot different than somebody with 60s, right?
Yeah, so Crystal would do this a lot, probably about half the speed that I did it at.
Maybe that's
to get up that. TJ would probably
and you
send
tell
it
your
like I
students
did.
like a quarter of that, right?
Absolutely. But I've been doing this enough. I've played in Vernal a lot, and I've done a lot of this type of you give it gas and send it type wheeling to kind of figure out how to not get out of control or be careless with it.
Oh yeah.
So that was
I learned
this trail is so fun.
I learned a big lesson out in Vernal. And I'll tell you right now, like if you are not learning every single time you get in the hills, you're not doing something right.
Right, it's true.
You should be learning every single time you wheel. And I will admit that I am that person, and so will TJ. He is learning every single time, and we should be doing that to better ourselves in the hills.
Because we wheeled in Vernal.
Like, someone said full onion. Of course, like when you're in Vernal, and that was Zach, Justin Amix's friend, and he's like, okay, Crystal. I'm like, I've already given it 3 goes. He's like, all right, it's full onion. And I looked at TJ. I'm like, dude, all right, are you sure? Like full onion, full send. I'm like, I'm really going to like send it. So I stomped on it and I went up and everybody's like, stop. Because there's like a whole nother cliff on the other side. The problem I found out later was my caliper completely fell off. And so I didn't have any brake power in one of my wheels. So it made it extremely difficult to brake when I got up to the top.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, it scares me.
That's why it scares you. And one of the things that's funny is we went and did trails in Vernal without you and TJ.
Yep.
With locals. And the locals are like, all right, the way you get up this is momentum. You just send it. You aim your Jeep right there and you commit. And it's like, wait, that's not how Crystal and TJ told me to drive this one.
And you don't tell Poke Onion.
You don't tell
Poke Onion unless you mean it.
So this is...
You better mean it.
This is one of my favorite moments that we got on film was this. I mean, the Gladiator probably flew 4 Gladiator lengths over here, 3 or 4 Gladiator lengths.
That's awesome.
I could have gone home.
Total Dukes of Hazzard. I could have went home right there. That was it. That made my trail. We did the Fallen the next day, and we did the maze after that. And between those 2 days, I had an amazing last 3 days of this trip. The whole thing.
That's the jump of somebody who doesn't have a current payment.
Yeah. It definitely.
I don't even think I saw that. I saw that earlier today, and I don't even know. I didn't notice how long you stayed in the air there. That's a significant amount of time.
Yeah. That was the air. That was the air opportunity. There was another Gladiator there. I think it's Trail Cartel on Instagram. The Jeep's name is Zombie, and I think he's the only one that got a little more air than I did on that spot. And
he was ready.
Really
I was ready.
He just wanted a camera and he wanted to jump this thing.
That was.
He didn't care how far it went, what happened.
I didn't care if it was like 6 inches of air. That's all I needed. And it was that was going 75 miles an hour right there.
That sounds about right. Awesome. Yeah, some of those back trails, man, you can get some good speeds, and if you get a nice little bump, man, get some good test of your suspension.
I'm afraid that we're gonna have a traffic jam on that trail next Trail Hero because of how many people seen what we've done.
So, Paul, did you go out? Did you guys go out with Terry Moat and Steve Harris?
We went out with Yee.
Who's the locals that you went with? Because they're
Yee.
Oh, I don't remember who was out there. They were guides for Vernal Rock Rally.
So there's Justin, which is a local. There's Steve. There's Terry. Daryl's no longer a local. There's a lot of them.
Justin was the day that we were out there. I think he has a red Jeep with no front lockers.
Yes, and then
he did the clamshell with no front lockers, Crystal.
Yep. I can see him doing that.
He showed us how forgiving the clamshell can be, and I was like, because he messed it up. Like I thought he was rolling. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys better record this because this is gonna go viral. And he got up there, he kept backing back down and going up. And the last time he went up there, he just gave it everything his little Jeep had. and he made it up there. Yeah, he was the one that told us to send it on all these things. Like that one obstacle that there was a video where I did the jump it thing earlier this summer in June. That was on Doc's Beach, and he's literally like, I'm like, how do you get up this thing? He's like, momentum, just send it. And so I think I put it in manual 3.
Oh my God.
And then revved it up and just went. And that thing flew like 12 feet up the hill. And I'm like, okay, manual 2 is enough next time, I think.
Zach is one of the locals. He's the one that TJ's like, just watch Zach. I was like, and you guys know me, I don't trust very many people.
Yeah.
So he's like, just full onion. And I look at TJ, I'm like, dude, you heard it. You really want me to follow through with this?
Yeah.
If I'm going to follow through, I'm going to smash.
If you don't send it on those spots, you actually will roll. If you don't send it, you don't commit.
Oh, yeah, straight up. Oh, yeah, there's a ledge that Brian, you guys know King Crawlers? You know King Crawlers.
Yeah.
So Brian Allred was on our trail, and he was the leader or whatever, and he was in a buggy. Well, he was like smashing with 56-inch tires, whatever he had. He was smashing everything, just everything. And we're like, man, just because he could. So for us little guys, I mean, he was awesome, right? It's a lot of fun when you have a buggy. Yeah, I don't blame him. I probably would have done the same thing. But like when we got up there, like, man, there's like these poles are like 2 feet, 3 feet deeper than they were before. So for us, like little guys on 40s, we were like
on 40s, little guys on 40s. You hear that, JD?
No.
You hear that?
But I mean, we made it, so it says something. But no, Brian's awesome. He's super cool. But yeah, he has this super, super dope buggy, and like he's an excellent driver. So he has both a buggy and a regular Jeep, and he's awesome. He's a really good driver. But
Nice.
yeah.
All right. Well, we have managed to talk ourselves.
I love that
into-
video. That one's rad of Josh.
Is this the same place we've looked at already?
So that's the chute.
Yeah.
That is the iconic chute on Double Sammy.
That trail is one of the few trails I'm comfortable going around without having like adult supervision, like Crystal's husband with me.
Me and you've done it by ourselves.
Yeah, it's a super fun trail. There's one spot where Crystal and I, like we did it at night one time, and I got a little freaked out at this one spot where you're kind of off camber and running into a wall. So I tried to back up and I smashed my rear tail light in the back corner of my Gladiator. And then there's a video on that Crystal and I shot on Instagram a couple months later where I come back with the Bob bed, and Crystal's like, Crystal's like, okay, you just point right here and you just got to stay in it. You can hear Crystal yelling, stay in it. And you try to go up that way. So I'm trying to explain this to someone during Trail Hero. No, I'm like, no, you got to go up this and stay in it. They're like, at night, they're like, hell no, I'm not doing that.
Like, you want me to keep going?
Yeah, I'm like, just keep going and stay in it. It'll catch it and point yourself at this launch. So we
so
ended up
wrong.
finding an alternate route up that spot in the dark.
Wrong. It feels so wrong. In so
It was
many
the right way to do it, though, and I had redemption on that when Crystal and I were out by ourselves. And we just she's like, no, we figured it out and worked it out.
Yeah, it went really well. It went amazing. Absolutely.
We did that in 75 minutes, the two of us, including stopping to video some crap.
Yeah, it was quick. I mean, me and TJ run Double Sammy between the two of us. If it's just me and TJ, we'll run it in 35. But no, I think we ran it in 75 minutes, dude. Just me and you.
Yeah, these people, that's one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is when we go to Trail Hero, we're being spotted by local experts a lot of the time.
Okay.
We could figure these trails out on our own and smash our way through it probably with a lot of body damage and get through them eventually. But these guys are out there; they do these every day, so they're skipping to the part where you figure it out, and they've already kind of done it. So they'll tell you, put your tire right here,
right?
And they know like to the inch where your tire is supposed to be on that specific spot, and it makes for both good Instagram videos and for a real fun experience at the same time.
Absolutely.
But the local experts are smart and they know this stuff. And that's one of the things, like Crystal said, she can get through that trail in 35 minutes. But if you sign up for it at Trail Hero, you're on it till 2 o'clock or 3.
This is true.
It's an all-day event, I imagine, yeah.
I have to tell you something, Pope. So me and Daryl Ward, I took Daryl Ward on Double Sammy. And I was like, we got through it just fine. But there's that one spot where you go around, you kind of drop in. and then you drop off a ledge at the bottom of it, and then you come back up. It's kind of more towards the end. And I've done it 1,000 times, and I'm like, oh, I'm good, do. And I almost leaned my whole Jeep into that side, and I gassed out of it. And Daryl's like, all I could see was tire. That's all I could see was just the tire. He goes, I was sure you were dumping it over unless you gassed out of it. He's like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy crap, I've never done that before. But yeah, if you take that wrong, it is not good. But yeah, it was fun.
Randy, how many of you guys been out? How many times have you guys been out to Trail Hero?
This was our third Trail Hero.
Second Trail Hero.
Second Trail Hero. But we've been to San Hollow a lot. Like,
so
we go to San
the
Hollow.
very first time we came was a week after Trail Hero, and the place was pretty empty other than us and the people we were with. And it was it was really a lot of fun. This second time we did, the first time we actually went to Trail Hero itself was last year, and this is our second one.
Right.
Okay.
And this is the first Trail Hero that we kind of did a lot of trails that we pushed a little bit harder. We did we kind of went all around. We did stuff that everyone can do.
Yeah.
We did stuff that only built Jeeps should be trying or attempting.
Yeah.
And then we did something that's challenging, very challenging. Most Jeeps can get through it, but if the driver doesn't know what they're doing, they're they'll hang themselves up a little bit.
Right.
And
Yeah, sure.
we like to be challenged when we're out there, so we kind of try to push it as hard as our rigs are willing to go and our friends' rigs can go.
Right.
That's kind of where the line is.
Yeah. I love Trail Hero. It's so fun. So is Winter 4x4 Jamboree. They're all awesome. I love it.
Winter 4x4 is my favorite because it's the smaller version of it.
Yeah. A lot less people, it's good to have all the people, but it's more intimate. It's just a good experience. I love Winter 4x4.
Well, and to your point, if it's going to take you until 2:00 in the afternoon on a trail or 3:00 in the afternoon, it's an all-day event, and you're going to get a lot more trails per day just by having a smaller group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. It was so funny. I have to tell you guys about this because it is off-road related, 1,000%. So you guys know Lyle. Remember Lyle? From Strat Flap? So we were out with him, and he came down this year, and he brought a Razor Pro R, and they're really meant for rock crawling. And when he pulled up, I was like, dude, I am disappointed in you. Why would you buy something like that? I was like, what are you thinking? Anyway, so we took him out, and we actually did double Sandy, and it has front and rear lockers and everything. And I could not, you guys, the Pro Razor R's, those things are freaking impressive. They did everything that we did and more. He got up freaking middle monkey with it. It was awesome. It was super sweet. He did so good. And I never thought in a million years that side by side could do all that.
Are those the ones that are built? They kind of look like small Jeeps.
Yeah, ish. It's more of a buggy. I'll have to post because I haven't posted the reel up yet about it. But yeah, it's a Razor Pro R, and they are just
turbocharged one that's got 1,000 horsepower or something like that.
They were out there jumping it and rock crawling it. It was just absolutely incredible, mind blowing on how good they were. But I don't care if someone drives a side by side, a Jeep, a buggy. I don't care as long as everybody's respectful. That's all we care about.
All right, trailheads. Quick business note before we get back to the action. We've got premium ad spots open for brands that align with our love for off-roading. Why partner with us? You'll tap into a community that's passionate, engaged, and growing each day. Plus, your ads stay embedded in our episodes, giving your brand enduring impact to each and every new listener who reviews our archives. We're not doing this to get rich. It's about sustaining high-quality content at the trailhead. So if you're as committed to adventure as we are, let's talk. Reach out on Instagram or leave a text or voice message at 719-408-0132. There are more details on our Facebook show notes at thetrailheadnetwork.com. All right, let's get back to the trail and roll back into today's episode. I think we're all in the same boat here. I think we all have Jeeps, but a lot of us, I don't care what people drive. I don't care as long as you're respectful and as long as you do what you're supposed to do when you're out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully we can try and teach the people that in our class, because that's part of it. But yeah, we're open to just spread the word and tell people about it, because I feel like a lot of people when they look at a driving course for off-roading, I can't tell you how many people are like off-roading 101. No, you know what I mean? And it's just so much more than that. So it's just different. We're so much different than everybody else. It's so unique.
It's important.
And a lot of people I feel like have, and this is good that you do, but a lot of people have a lot of pride. And I feel like sometimes they feel like there's too much pride there to maybe come learn some more stuff. And where this stuff is like, it's from basics all the way to what people use in competition. And so I feel like a lot of people, when they hear off-road driving lessons or anything along those lines, they immediately go to, I'm good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, of course. We're all great. We're all perfect. No improvements to be made. I am good.
Yeah. So I appreciate you having me on here.
And I have one last question, because I was a big POD fan back in the day. Did anybody go to the concert? Was it good?
We ended up not.
No.
Because
I was going to live vicariously through your glowing review of the event.
We wanted to. We ran out of gas after.
We did. I was like gonna die
after day 78 of Trail Hero.
Yeah.
We were kind of burned out.
We went back to the hotel and we sat there and stared at each other. We didn't even talk to anybody. Like, we were done.
You want to know who I ran into? So you guys know the guy that has seriously helped me out so much with the tops of my Jeep forever. And I've been telling you, I guys need to meet. We've been meaning to meet up in Moab or whatnot. And it's been 5 years. And I didn't know that, because my top is a rampage. It always has been. So we get out there and I get to the vendor show and I don't even know what Adam looks like, because that's the guy. He's like, we just need to wheel. And I run out there and he's like, wait a minute, it's been 6 years. You finally show up. And I'm like, so Rampage bought Real Truck. And Real Truck was really cool, very humbling. But we took the entire Real Truck staff and out on Double Sammy, and they have never, ever, ever been here before. And they had never had a chance to even get on the trail yet. And so we took them and their Bronco. They had a Bronco.
Were they equipped in their own stuff, like the Rugged Ridge stuff?
It was awesome. And they literally, we literally took the entire staff of Real Truck, their Bronco and their open 392 on Double Sammy at night. And they've never been here before. And they're like, I said, okay, it's baptism by fire, people. And they said, you weren't lying. And they go back to their family. We're on the trail. Like, what was I thinking? Because it was a Bronco. It was awesome. It was so cool.
If you'd have took them on 777s, you would have scared them to death.
No, Bronco. Can you imagine a Bronco? Dude, that was lifting tires left and right. Holy moly.
If it's the Bronco Raptor, I'm not too worried about it, but I'm so worried about breaking tie rods on the little ones.
Oh, right. No, it was the Raptor, and they had all Tyler and Amy's stuff on it from Blockbuster. So
they could have done 777 with that.
I don't know. Yeah, dude, they didn't even know what to expect, because they're from Arkansas and Georgia, and they came out and they're like, what is this? It's like obstacle after obstacle after obstacle. He's like, we can't, even if we didn't sell a thing, we're still coming back for Trail Hero. Okay, cool. So it was just nice to see the smiles on their faces, to be able to take the entire staff out. And one of them drove the Bronco, and he's like, oh my gosh, he was shaking.
If I remember right, they had a giant booth over at right next to Rugged Radios, actually.
Pretty freaking rad people.
They had tons of stuff for sale there. They had just a huge amount of space over there.
Oh, incredible! And the Adam is just a good guy. So he moved over to marketing director. So and I didn't know that, because I hadn't talked to him in so long. And then he's like, "You guys want to take us on a trail?" And we're like, "Let's go! What do you guys want to do?"
That's fun.
Cool. Yeah, it was rad. It was really cool and humbling. So, but heck yeah, defend your ground, Blue Ribbon.
That's awesome. Yeah, and so we're just about done. I don't want to keep everybody on too late. We've got enough here to make a couple of 60-minute episodes. I kind of want to see how a slightly shorter round goes.
Sure.
And then also it allows us to do 2 releases, so it makes more fun for me. But I did want to bring this up in both these episodes. Our next episode that we're going to be recording will be episode 5 of our podcast. And in that spirit, I feel it necessary to tell you about the Blue Ribbon Coalition and picking up a copy of this book. This book is the Lost Trails book, volume 2. It's yours for the low price of $25, at least, of a donation to them. And the reason why it's important is because just last week, before we recorded this, just the beginning of October or so, the BLM released their decision for the Gemini Bridges Labyrinth Rim.
Yep.
And they closed 317 miles of trails in Moab.
Yep.
And if you read the press release about it, they were really trying really hard to disguise the fact that they were closing trails until the very end of it. You don't actually notice that it's about trail closures.
Yeah.
Right.
And this kind of shady behavior is questionable at best. It's bad ethics. And they did that on purpose, and they did it right as a time when everyone's going to be gone. They did it over the weekends, and no one will hear about it.
Right.
All these little sideways things to kind of like prevent people from actually getting to know about what they've done. And it's people who aren't even from around here coming out here and trying to change the rules.
Right.
And affecting our local economy, affecting our way of life. And they're taking away trails from people. They're like, oh, we're not taking away from people. People can still go see it. Yeah, only like certain people can hike that many miles to go see Hey Joe Canyon now.
Right.
It's true.
Well, we talked about this. We talked about this in the last episode. And one of those things was some of those vehicles for people with disabilities to get into the backcountry. And I'm not a person that can do that. I don't have the knees in my age, let alone probably at 20. I probably didn't have the knees, if I'm being honest with myself. But I can't. I can't do those kinds of walk. I'm never going to get to see some of these places that are in this book because of that. And it's insanely frustrating as a person who just got into wheeling 7 or 8 years ago.
Right. No, and we got a you know what? We had the opportunity you guys, this is when like the old Lions back was still in play. Like people drive up it.
Yeah. That's the most high profile example of that kind of a closure.
Right.
And now there's a resort being built right by it, and it's
right.
It's always going to end up the same way. They're going to close Hey Joe Canyon, then there's going to be like the Hey Joe Resort and Spa, and a bunch of freaking people, billionaires, are going to own it. And
the BLM will try to sell off the land because they don't want to manage it, and then someone will buy it and put a resort there, and then charge us all $100 a pop.
And they'll originally say we're closing it to save the desert tortoise that no one's ever seen before.
Right.
Because I really believe desert turtles can live in the desert where there's no water. That seems so realistic to me. I'm a pretty environmental person. I'm a person who believes in a lot of those things, especially, being a child of the late 80s and 90s. Part of why we take care of the ground we do is because of the way we grew up. We had the ozone layer problems when we were growing up. We kind of all learned about that. And when we go out on the trails with our Jeeps, we're out there respectfully taking advantage of the environment out there. And a lot of these trails were already built by the government when they were trying to mine for uranium down in Moab. That's where a lot of these trails came from, is from that. Those scars are there forever, whether we wheel there or we don't.
And we're treating those areas a lot better than those folks ever were.
Ever.
Yeah.
And we treat this land as if it's our own backyard. We clean up after.
100%. Every single time I'm out there, I know most all the people that I deal with. The people that don't are the few and far between. Unfortunately, those are the people that they hold up as an example. But I think that's true of any sport.
And I thought that Utah came up with something cool with the off-road course, and that was a good starting point. It was probably too little, too late. But a lot of the things that I think we're seeing is. I hate to pinpoint something, but if you make these roads so that you need to have a street legal car to drive on them, or at least something resembling a street legal vehicle on them, rather than allowing side by sides to go tear them up, that's one possible way of doing it, but continuing to educate people is actually the right way. That's what Utah started doing with our off-road course that we have to have in order to go wheel out here.
Exactly.
That was a great starting point, and I think that we need
And I
more
encourage
things
everybody
like
to
that.
take that too.
Totally, because you need to know those things.
Yeah,
and we're all speaking the same language.
I think whether you're a side by side or you rock crawl, if you have any sort of thoughts of getting off road and off roading, I think they should all have to take it.
You got to know.
We took it,
it's part of the reason why I got in. Yeah, it's part of the reason why I started doing the trails off road. People need to know what they're getting themselves into. If we want to save these places, they've got to be educated about them.
Yeah. Yep. You got to be nice to the environment and take care of them. Like we've driven up to petroglyphs up in on the Devil's Racetrack out near Moab by Green River.
Right.
And those things still exist because people over time have kind of been, they've been nice to the environment. They put up signs and told people, this is what this is. Don't mess with it.
Right. Well, just leave it better than you found it, right?
Leave it better than you found it. And that's, as long as people start doing that, that's a better problem. But now they put us in a situation. Now we've got to go support the Blue Ribbon Coalition so we can sue them and have lots. Right.
Exactly. Yeah. And
no one wants to do that.
No. And we'll talk more about it. Those of you who are listening in right now, we're going to have Marcus Trusty from CORE here in Colorado. We're going to have an individual named Patrick McKay from Colorado Off-Road Trail Defenders, and the executive director of Blue Ribbon Coalition, Ben Burr, will be joining us. We're not 100% sure if he's going to join us via a side interview or if he'll join us as a whole, but hopefully he's going to join us when we do the recording that night.
That'll be excellent.
So yeah, it's going to be a good discussion. I mean, the honest to God truth is usually once these kinds of decisions have been made, fighting them back is hard. And fighting them back in any meaningful way is usually difficult. But I'm hoping that at the very least, this situation is a wake-up call for a lot of folks who just haven't been paying attention to this stuff, who don't know that there are these kinds of things going on every single day out here. And yeah, it sucks that we have to donate, but I'm also in the place of I've been a political junkie person for a long period of my life. And I know that in these kinds of situations, you got to fight fire with fire. And the only way that we're going to stop these closures is by countersuing to open trails. We can fight to get, only 250 miles of the 317 miles closed. But the only way that we're going to start gaining ground is by saying, well, if you're going to close 300 miles over here, then you got to open up 400 miles over here.
Right.
And so I think that's the next big piece for us. But I think the first big piece is getting people pissed off. Like you need to be, if you're listening to this, you need to be pissed off that 300 plus miles of your trails in Moab, maybe that you've never seen, you're never going to get to.
Well, and neither is their kids or their kids' kids or anything like that. And that, I have to go back to the whole thing of, there's that off-road course, but we also integrate that into our course too, out in the hills. So they're going to get that there, but they're also going to get it with us too. Right. And it really is very, very important. Tread lightly.
I think there's a lot of myths to dispel about exactly what the OHV crowd is out there doing.
Huge.
And so
we're not out there tearing things up. We're out there
trying to make it
better. And like when we're playing on the maze or stuff in Sand Hollow, that area is set aside for that.
Right. We play in places we're supposed to play.
We're not out there in literally, if we weren't out there wheeling there, they would be turning it into neighborhoods and stuff.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, we already fought for that. It was bad. Yeah. Even when we went to the library and fought for that, here, we were fighting for that here. I mean, they thought they had a conference room that fit 60 people and they had over 2,000 people come through those doors.
Yeah. And the best thing is to be active when you have the ability at the library, like you're talking about, be there early.
Yep.
But you know what? Maybe it takes one of these watershed moments that we kind of have to come together as a community and be like, all right, that's enough. We're not going to take these little piddly, cuts here and these little cuts here and these little cuts here. We're going to start fighting back, and groups like the SWA are going to find out about it, and the BLM is not going to be able to hide behind a press conference, because I'm going to work to get it out in the news. You're going to work to get it out in the news, and we're going to make sure that we make noise about it.
We're going to help people like the Blue Ribbon Coalition with their goals.
Yeah.
And not only that, but they provide you something in return, like this. That Lost Trails Guidebook version 1 is really rad. Shows you a lot of stuff that you can see in Devil's Racetrack area, and that whole area, the San Rafael Swell there's a lot of trails in that area out in the swell that are in that guidebook.
So we'll talk more about it when we've got all those folks on next week. And but in the meantime, if you're listening in, go to the Blue Ribbon Coalition, check out their website, see what they're up to, see what they're doing. You can read more about the NOAD decision ahead of listening to our episode. Get the Lost Trails book, get involved. If you're going to spend money for the 2024 election campaign in some way, shape, or form, give it to these guys. Let it do some actual good. You can actually see what somebody is doing with your donation. So that's it, guys. I don't have anything else. Crystal, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
TJ just
Oh, we can say hi to TJ. Let's say hi to TJ. Yeah, that's all right. We'll have you back on again. This was good. I like having we like having other people here.
When they're not looking good.
Sure.
So you guys can see Crystal's Jeep back there. That Pit Viper 4x4 sticker that's on there, or Pit Viper off-road sticker, that's from our first time out in Sand Hollow. We were wheeling with Glenn Plake. Glenn Plake has that Pit Viper sunglasses company as one of his businesses that he has, and so him and his wife put those stickers on all of our Jeeps without us knowing about it.
That's dangerous.
And Randy and I see these stickers on our Jeep, and Randy rips it off of her Jeep. She's so mad that someone had the audacity to put a sticker on her Jeep.
Yep. The finger corn guy on YouTube or whatever it was, I can't stand him. He drives me nuts. If I ever ran into him, I'd probably.
And funny, and I figured out who it was, and we were talking about something, saying something like, no one's sponsoring us. We're not putting their stickers on our stuff. And it was our friends that we were just wheeling with to put their sticker on our stuff. So it's pretty funny. Now there's a Pit Viper off-road on Misfit too.
That's awesome. Hey, TJ. Hey. Nice to meet you.
What up, Pete?
Get on my knees.
I know. Here, sit down on the bucket so your knees don't hurt.
How tall are you? Like 9 feet tall?
Sorry.
I think she just has the camera really low. Otherwise, that Jeep is 9 feet tall.
It is. Have you ever seen it?
He's sitting down, and I'm standing up, and he's tall.
How you doing, TJ?
Great. Well,
Crystal didn't tell us you wouldn't be here or not. She didn't tell me that you needed to be here later or anything. Like, we could have tried to get you in here.
Communication issue on my end. Sorry. We got actually stuck up on the chute and had a tour guide thing going on.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll happen.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Someone stuck on the chute?
Well, so we got done wheeling and we finished with the tour. And basically, we're up there, and some guys pull up behind us, and they look confused, and they're in like some O.J. Simpson Broncos. So we're like, do you know where you're going? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, this is the chute, and it's iconic. So their buddy went up, but he had a CJ7 that was all decked out with an LS and really nice, and he crawled right up it. So his buddies come in behind in these Broncos, and I'm just like, I don't think they're going to make it, man. And we thought the guy was backing off and done, and we go to turn around, and he just sends it and basically just lays it on its side. So we're playing recovery for the last, I think, probably an hour plus. So,
gosh.
All right. Well, thank you very much for doing that. We'll have to have you on another time. It's okay. I have no problem bringing you back.
Okay, much appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, you're awesome. Well, thanks so much for having us, and it was so nice to meet everybody.
It was nice meeting you too. You guys come well recommended, so it's awesome.
Well, that's good to hear, man. I appreciate that. It's good to hear for sure.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's it,
you're
guys.
only okay, TJ.
Oh.
Oh man, I better step my game up.
You're going to have to listen to this because they talked a lot of shit about you at the beginning of the show.
I mean, we don't know him at all. He's terrible.
You're going to have to take it all up with them.
Terrible.
I had nothing to do with it. That's awesome. All right, everybody. Well, that's it. I got enough here. I'll take care of the intros and outros, and I really appreciate it, everybody. Thanks so much. Have a good night.
Yeah, you guys have a great night.
Have a good day. Yeah. Bye, everybody.
Take care.
So we're going to take a break there for part 2, which will be up in a few days on all of the platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. Please join us for part 2 next time at the Trailhead. Hey, Trailheads, it's JD here again. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Trailhead. We love bringing you this content, and if you love listening to it, there are a couple of ways you can support us to keep the adventure going. First off, spread the word. If you could take a moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever else it is you're listening, it makes a huge difference for us. And hey, give us a shout out on your socials, tag us, and we'll make sure to return the love. Next, if you head on over to our Buzzsprout website, you'll find linked at thetrailheadnetwork.com. There's an option to send us a few bucks. Now, don't worry, this isn't for new mods or anything. We're putting every dollar back into making the show as beastie as possible. That includes everything from our hosting services and equipment to our goals to bring you special episodes and content you won't find anywhere else. And speaking of exclusive content, keep an eye out for our upcoming Patreon page or something very similar. We've got some ideas to send y'all some great stuff as part of some subscription. Every bit helps, and we appreciate your support more than we can say. Now, let's get back to the trails.